Welcome, my favorite people, the rare gems. The woman who walks alone will find herself in places no one has ever been before. Albert Einstein. There is a quiet revolution happening. Women are stepping away from the noise, the expectations, and the endless demands of society. They are not lonely. They are reclaiming their space. These women are Sigma females, strong, independent, and unapologetically reclusive. Unlike what the world wants you to believe, solitude is not a weakness. It is a weapon. Sigma females don't withdraw because they can't handle life. They withdraw because they refuse to be controlled by it. They don't seek approval, don't crave attention, and certainly don't need to be part of a crowd to feel whole. They move in silence, building themselves in ways the world fails to understand. If you've ever felt like you don't belong, if you've ever questioned the need for constant social validation, or if you've ever chosen peace over pointless drama, you might be a Sigma female. And that's not just okay, it's powerful. This isn't about fitting in, it's about owning who you are without apology. The rise of reclusive women is here, and it's unstoppable. You are not broken, you are not strange, you are simply playing a game others don't even realize exists. Watch this video and step into your power. It's time to stop explaining yourself and start embracing who you were always meant to be. Number 1. Spiritual loners. Sigma females walk a path that most people will never understand. They are not just physically alone, they are spiritually detached from the noise, the distractions, and the shallow pursuits that consume the majority. While the world chases status, approval, and temporary highs, they are diving into something deeper, themselves. This isn't about religion or blind faith, it's about inner mastery. A Sigma female questions everything, society, traditions, even her own beliefs. She refuses to follow anything blindly. Instead, she seeks truth on her own terms, through philosophy, meditation, or deep self-awareness. While others drown in mindless entertainment and meaningless trends, she is unraveling the layers of her mind, unlocking wisdom that goes far beyond what the mainstream narrative offers. This level of introspection makes her different. People often struggle to relate to her because she does not operate on surface-level thinking. Small talk bores her, gossip disgusts her, fake positivity and spiritual clichés do nothing for her. She seeks something real, something that challenges her mind and pushes her to grow beyond what she was told to be. But this journey is not easy. It comes with solitude, with moments of deep existential questioning, with the realization that most people will never understand her perspective. Yet she embraces it. She doesn't need a crowd to validate her. She doesn't need a guru to tell her what to believe. Her wisdom comes from within, from the hours spent in silence, from the lessons learned through pain, from the strength found in solitude. This is why she is unshakable. No social trend, no societal expectation, no external force can truly influence her. She has discovered herself, and once a Sigma female reaches that level of self-awareness, the world's illusions hold no power over her. Number 2. Career-driven, but not for the system. Sigma females refuse to be just another cog in the machine. While society pushes people to climb corporate ladders, chase promotions, and trade their lives for a paycheck, they see things differently. They are not against hard work, but they refuse to sell their soul for it. They don't live for job titles, office politics, or the illusion of stability that keeps most people trapped. Instead, they build their careers on their own terms, making freedom the priority, not status. They don't tolerate micromanagement, pointless meetings, or rigid hierarchies that exist just to feed egos. They value efficiency, autonomy, and results over appearances. This is why many of them turn to freelancing, entrepreneurship, or unconventional career paths that allow them to work alone, think independently, and control their time. They don't want to be bound to a desk, answering to people they don't respect, following rules they don't believe in. They want impact without interference. Even when they do work within traditional structures, they refuse to conform. They aren't there to be liked, to gossip by the coffee machine, or to play along with office politics. They keep to themselves, focus on their work, and move in silence. This often makes them stand out in male-dominated industries where aggression and competition are the norm. While others fight for validation, the Sigma female wins through sheer competence and independence. Success to her is not measured by a paycheck alone, it's measured by freedom. The freedom to work on what matters, to walk away from toxic environments, to never feel owned by a job. She doesn't work to survive, she works to build a life on her terms. The system can't control her because she was never part of it to begin with. Number 3, not antisocial, but anti-fake. Sigma females are often misunderstood. People assume they are antisocial, cold, or uninterested in others. The truth is, they are not against socializing. They are against superficiality. They don't dislike people. They dislike pointless small talk, forced politeness, and empty conversations that drain energy without adding value. Most social interactions revolve around appearances, gossip, or shallow exchanges that serve no real purpose. Sigma females have no patience for that. If a conversation doesn't challenge their mind, expand their perspective, or hold real meaning, they see no reason to engage. They are not the type to talk just to fill silence. If they speak, it's because they have something worth saying. If they listen, it's because they see depth in the discussion. And if they walk away, it's because the interaction isn't worth their time. This mindset makes them selective about who they surround themselves with. They don't force friendships, and they don't chase connections. They believe relationships should form naturally based on mutual understanding and genuine interest, not out of obligation or social pressure. Because of this, they may have very few friends, but the ones they do have are real. Some mistake this for arrogance, but it's actually self-respect. Sigma females refuse to entertain meaningless interactions just to appear friendly. They are perfectly content in their own company, and they would rather spend time alone than force themselves to engage in conversations that feel fake. This is why they stand out. While others exhaust themselves trying to fit in, they remain unapologetically authentic. They don't waste words, they don't waste energy, and most importantly, they don't waste themselves on anything that doesn't align with who they truly are. Number 4, they reject the modern slave system. Sigma females refuse to live life on autopilot. They see the system for what it is, a carefully designed trap that keeps people chasing illusions of stability while draining them of their time, energy, and individuality. They are not interested in working mindlessly for decades, only to retire too tired to enjoy life. The idea of sacrificing their best years just to keep up with a society that thrives on exhaustion and debt? Absolutely not. They don't chase job titles. They don't measure success by how much they own or how busy they look. They measure it by freedom, the ability to wake up and decide how to spend their day, who to spend it with, and what truly matters. If that means choosing freelancing over corporate life, starting a business instead of climbing a corporate ladder, or even living with less to have more control over their time, so be it. To them, security that comes at the cost of personal freedom is just another form of slavery. Consumer culture doesn't impress them either. Society teaches people to buy their way to happiness, to constantly upgrade, to spend, to keep up with trends that mean nothing. Sigma females see through this cycle. They don't buy things to prove their worth, and they don't need external validation to feel successful. Instead of chasing status symbols, they invest in experiences, knowledge, and self-sufficiency. This rejection of the system makes them unpredictable. They are not trapped by the same fears that keep others in line: fear of being different, fear of instability, fear of walking alone. While others work themselves to exhaustion just to maintain a lifestyle designed to keep them dependent, Sigma females break free. They design their lives on their terms, no matter how unconventional that may seem to others. Number 5. They are the future of womanhood. The world is shifting. The rules that once dictated how people should live, think, and behave are crumbling. The system thrives on blind obedience, emotional weakness, and shallow distractions designed to keep people in line. But as chaos rises, so does a new breed of women, Sigma females, the ones who refuse to be controlled, who see beyond the illusions, and who move with purpose while everyone else is lost in the noise. In a time where people are desperate for approval, Sigma females remain untouched by the need to conform. They are not influenced by social trends, media propaganda, or societal pressure. They think independently, act strategically, and operate from a place of logic rather than emotion. While others are consumed by the fear of standing alone, they embrace solitude as their greatest strength. This makes them not just rare but dangerous, because a woman who cannot be controlled is a woman who rewrites the game entirely. The modern world encourages weakness, but Sigma females reject the decay. They are not emotionally dependent, financially trapped, or intellectually asleep. They know how to navigate systems without being enslaved by them, how to build power without seeking permission, and how to walk away from anything that threatens their freedom. This is why they are the blueprint for the future of femininity. While others wait for guidance, they create their own path. Survival in this era is no longer about who can follow the rules, it's about who can break free from them. The Sigma female is not just adapting to the new world, she is shaping it. And those who fail to evolve will be left behind. Number 6. They are the silent revolutionaries. Sigma females don't need loudspeakers, movements, or crowds chanting their name to create change. They don't waste time arguing with people who refuse to see the truth, nor do they seek validation through performance activism. Instead, they do something far more radical. They master themselves. They take full ownership of their lives, their minds, and their paths. And in doing so, they become the silent revolutionaries, shaking the foundation of everything society expects from them. They are the women who walk away from toxic workplaces and build their own businesses. They refuse to be overworked, underpaid, and unappreciated in a system that never had their best interests at heart. While others are trapped in endless cycles of financial dependency, they create their own wealth, their own opportunities, and their own futures. They are not waiting for the world to change. They are outsmarting it. They reject forced narratives. They don't feel the need to scream about empowerment because they embody it. They don't need to constantly declare their strength because it is evident in how they move through life. Unshaken, independent, and completely in control. They understand that true power doesn't come from demanding respect, but from commanding it through action. What makes them dangerous is that they do all of this without seeking permission. They don't ask if they are allowed to lead, to succeed, to live on their terms. They simply do it. And because they do it quietly, they are often overlooked until it's too late. By the time the world notices, they have already built empires in the shadows, controlled their own destinies, and rewritten the rules that were never made for them in the first place. Their revolution isn't loud, but it is unstoppable. Number 7. They can't be controlled by men or society. Sigma females are the ones you can't guilt, can't shame, and can't break. They are immune to the tactics that keep most people in line: manipulation, societal expectations, and the constant pressure to conform. They don't live for approval, and they certainly don't bend to outdated rules designed to control them. Men who are used to having power over women find themselves at a loss with a Sigma female. She doesn't respond to dominance, sweet talk, or emotional games. She sees through deception instantly and walks away without hesitation. Unlike those who seek validation through relationships, she doesn't need a man to define her worth. If she chooses to be with someone, it's because they add value to her life, not because she fears being alone. She wants, but never needs, and that makes her untouchable. Society, too, struggles to place her in a box. She doesn't conform to traditional roles, yet she also doesn't fit into modern labels designed to categorize women. She isn't the obedient, people-pleasing woman who sacrifices herself for others, nor is she the performative rebel who seeks attention for being different. She simply exists on her own terms, answering to no one. Whether it's career, relationships, or personal choices, she moves without asking for permission and without explaining herself. This level of independence makes people uncomfortable. Society thrives on control, through guilt, fear, and unrealistic standards, but none of that works on a Sigma female. She sees through the conditioning, rejects anything that doesn't align with her values, and never apologizes for being herself. She is the woman you can't pressure into submission, the one who will never beg for acceptance. And that is precisely why she is so powerful. A woman who can't be controlled is a woman who is truly free. Number 8. They are dangerous thinkers. Sigma females are not the type to accept things at face value. They don't blindly follow rules, traditions, or authority figures simply because they are told to. They ask why, they dissect ideas, expose contradictions, and challenge the beliefs that keep most people trapped in false security. This makes them dangerous in a world that thrives on obedience and conformity. People who think for themselves are always seen as a threat. Sigma females don't just think outside the box, they burn the box down. They see through manipulation, whether it comes from institutions, media, or even personal relationships. They refuse to be controlled by fear, guilt, or societal pressure. If something doesn't make sense, they reject it. If a rule is built on lies, they break it. And if a person tries to deceive them, they expose it, sometimes without saying a word. This level of awareness makes them unpredictable. Society runs on patterns. People are expected to behave a certain way, think within limits, and stay in their assigned roles. But Sigma females refuse to be programmed. They don't seek approval. They don't need validation. And they cannot be guilt-tripped into submission. This makes people uncomfortable, especially those who benefit from control. But they don't care. Truth matters more than comfort, even when it isolates them. They would rather stand alone with clarity than blend in with a world built on illusion. This is why they are both respected and feared. A woman who thinks for herself is the last person anyone can manipulate, and that is exactly what makes her so powerful. Number 9. They don't chase, they attract. Sigma females never chase, not people, not opportunities. They don't beg for attention, force connections, or run after things that aren't naturally drawn to them. And yet, they seem to attract everything others are desperately seeking: respect, success, and even romantic interest. The secret? Detachment. While the world tells women to be more available, more accommodating, more eager to please, a Sigma female does the opposite. She isn't desperate for anyone's approval. She isn't bending over backward to fit into society's expectations. She moves through life with a quiet confidence that says, "I am enough as I am." That kind of self-assurance is magnetic. People can sense it. They recognize the difference between a woman who is comfortable in her own skin and one who is constantly seeking validation. Men, in particular, don't know what to do with her. They are used to women competing for attention, trying to impress, or proving their worth. A Sigma female does none of that. She doesn't flirt for validation, she doesn't chase after love, and she certainly doesn't play games to keep someone interested. She knows her value, and if someone doesn't see it, she moves on without a second thought. That kind of unbothered energy is intoxicating. It makes people want to earn her attention because they know she doesn't give it away freely. The same applies to success and opportunities. While others are networking out of desperation, begging for recognition, or forcing their way into circles, a Sigma female focuses on her craft, her growth, her goals. And because she's so deeply invested in her own path, the right opportunities naturally align with her. She attracts, not because she's seeking, but because she's becoming. And when you become something rare, the world takes notice. Number 10. The mask of mystery. Sigma females are walking contradictions to those who don't understand them. They don't talk much, yet they notice everything. They don't seek attention, yet they command it without trying. While others are busy proving themselves, explaining their every move, or oversharing for validation, a Sigma female remains silent, watching, analyzing, and storing information that others overlook. Her silence isn't insecurity, it's strategy. She knows that people expose themselves when they talk too much. Every insecurity, every hidden motive, every unspoken fear leaks through their words. She listens, not just to what is being said, but to what isn't. She catches the micro-expressions, the shifts in tone, the inconsistencies in someone's story. Nothing gets past her, yet most people never realize they are being studied. Because she doesn't broadcast her thoughts, people assume she has none. They mistake her quiet nature for passivity, believing she is either uninterested or weak. But they couldn't be more wrong. While they underestimate her, she is calculating, adapting, and staying 10 steps ahead. This is why she rarely finds herself in unnecessary conflicts. She sees the game before it's played and exits before it becomes a mess. Her mystery is not an act. It is a byproduct of her independence. She doesn't feel the need to explain herself, and she certainly doesn't owe anyone access to her mind. She speaks when it matters, but only after she has gathered enough insight to make her words unshakable. By the time people realize the depth of her awareness, it's too late. She has already decided whether they are worth her time or just another lesson in human nature. Number 11. They are feared, not understood. People fear what they cannot control, and a Sigma female is completely uncontrollable. She doesn't seek approval, doesn't follow trends, and doesn't care about fitting into anyone's expectations. This makes her a mystery to most, and what people can't understand, they label. Some call her arrogant, others say she's bitter. But the truth is simple. She just doesn't need validation. In a world where people constantly seek reassurance, from social media, relationships, or society itself, a woman who validates herself is seen as a threat. She doesn't need a crowd to confirm her worth. She doesn't play the nice girl to be accepted. And she certainly doesn't shrink herself to make others comfortable. This level of independence unsettles people, especially those who rely on external approval to feel secure. They wonder why she isn't desperate for attention, why she doesn't care about impressing anyone, why she walks away from situations most people tolerate just to belong. It frustrates them because they can't place her into a box. She's not an alpha trying to dominate. She's not a beta seeking validation. She is simply free. And that freedom makes people uncomfortable. But the Sigma female isn't cold, nor is she bitter. She simply operates at a level where approval is irrelevant. Her choices are based on logic, self-respect, and purpose, not the need to be liked. She can sit in silence without feeling lonely, achieve without needing applause, and walk alone without feeling lost. Society is built on the idea that people must belong to a group to have value. The Sigma female proves otherwise, and that alone makes her a force people fear but will never truly understand. The rise of the Sigma female is not a trend. It is an inevitability. In a world that thrives on control, distractions, and shallow validation, the women who choose solitude, self-mastery, and independence stand out as a force that cannot be ignored. They are not running away from society, they are rejecting its limitations. They are not cold or distant, they simply refuse to waste energy on anything that does not serve their higher purpose. To be a Sigma female is to embrace the power of being alone without being lonely. It is knowing that your strength does not come from the approval of others, but from the discipline, wisdom, and resilience you build within yourself. It is understanding that true freedom is not given, it is taken, protected, and fiercely guarded. You do not owe the world an explanation for who you are. You do not need to fit into anyone's expectations. You are not here to entertain, to be convenient, or to make others comfortable. You are here to evolve, to conquer, and to move in silence while the rest are lost in the noise. Let them misunderstand you. Let them call you difficult, distant, or too independent. Their labels mean nothing. What matters is that you remain unshaken, untamed, and entirely in control of your own destiny. The world is watching, but more importantly, it is changing. And whether they realize it or not, it is women like you who are leading the way. Thank you for watching The Rare Gems, and God bless you.